What's good? What's Gucci with the fight fans? It's your boy Kijana back with these fight predictions. UFC 241, Stipe Miocic versus DC, the champ, double champ. It's going to be a rematch fight. It's going to be another banger. And yeah, the card looks pretty decent to me, so I'm excited to watch a few of these fights on here. I'm gonna go straight into it. Not gonna take too long on these fight predictions. I did take a little bit more notes on some of the fighters I'm less familiar with. Yeah, so the prelims: Sabina Amazo versus Shauna Dobson. Sabina Amazo is coming off of a loss, her debut. She's 6-1 record, wins mostly by decisions. Kind of a boring fighter. I wouldn't say she's UFC caliber. She lost her debut to Mayra Moras, which was a unanimous decision, 30-27. Don't look too good because Moras, I don't feel like she's UFC caliber as well. I'm not trying to knock these chicks. It's just that's just my own opinion on the matter. She's got nice kicks though. Sabina's got nice kicks. She got 2 KO head kicks outside of the UFC. And her overall kicking game is pretty decent. Her striking's average. Doesn't really work the ground too much. She's just a pure striker. She's 22 years old. She's fighting Shauna Dobson, which is 3-3 record, 1-1 in the UFC. She did win her debut by second round TKO. She's 29 years old. She lost by decision to Lauren Mueller, which isn't a bad decision loss because Lauren Mueller is a grinder. She's tough. She's gritty. And she takes it to you. She's the pressure fighter. So, I mean, losing to her, that's not really nothing to be too disappointed about. I feel like she's a pretty good up-and-coming chick fighter. But she did lose to Roxanne Modafferi. And to me, that don't look too good. Roxanne just seems uncoordinated and just off balance, a little off beat. I don't feel like, she's been fighting for a while. She's been in the fight game for a while. Kind of a pioneer for the chicks. But I just feel like she's not really UFC caliber, and she's very one-dimensional. She really doesn't have any striking. So, yeah, I mean, I'm going off the topic a little bit. But, yeah, Shauna Dobson lost to her earlier in her career, and she's just a wild kind of striker. Her hands are – she throws wild haymakers and just throws wild strikes. So I'm going to roll with Sabina Amazo to get the decision victory. Probably a split decision. It's probably not going to be a unanimous. I don't feel like it's going to be a pretty close, even matchup. Next fight, Kyung Ho Kang versus Brandon Davis. Kyung Ho, Mr. Perfect, with not so perfect record, 15-8. He got 11 subs, 2 KO/TKO victories, 1 sub loss and 1 KO loss. He's a BJJ specialist. He's going to look to grind you out on the ground and just submit you any way he can. His last win was by rear naked choke to Teruto Ishihara, which isn't really isn't that big of a deal. Because Teruto Ishihara, he don't got no ground game. He fought a fighter that doesn't have any ground game whatsoever, and it doesn't seem like Teruto really progressed at all. All he has is he's pure striking, and Kyung Ho's pretty well rounded. His striking is not half bad. His overall movement's pretty good as well. But yeah, he's 4-2 in the UFC, and he just came off of that win. Very strategic fighter. He's smart. He's gonna use his game plan to get it done. Brandon Davis, 10-5 record, 3 KO/TKO wins, 3 sub wins, 2 sub losses. He's pretty well rounded as well. His only losses are basically to high caliber opponents like Kyle Bogniak, Zabit, and Enrique Barzola, which just fought last weekend. And Enrique Barzola, we all see he's a beast. He's a grinder too. Very gritty. So yeah, those are the only fighters he's lost to. I mean, that actually have well-known names. And he beat Steven Peterson, and he just came off of a win to Randy Costa, which was a submission victory. So I feel like, and Brandon Davis is he switched weight classes as well. So I feel like Brandon Davis is gonna have a little bit more steam to him. I feel like he's gonna want to really get a win. He's 29 years old, but he doesn't do well against grapplers. Like I said, he got beat by Zabit. Zabit's well-rounded. He's got grappling. He's got it all. He got beat by Kyle Bogniak, which is a great grappler, and he's well-rounded as well. And he got beat by Enrique Barzola, which holds the 4th or 5th highest takedown percentage in the UFC. So those are all grappling guys. Kyung Ho's going to look to get him to the ground and just grapple with him. Plain and simple. So I'm going to roll with... Fuck. I went back and forth a few times on this one. But I'm going to roll with Brandon Davis. I feel like he could get the job done on this one. I feel like he can get a decision victory. Next fight. Let's see what we working with here. Hannah Cyphers versus Jodi Iskelebel. Hannah Cyphers 9-3 record. Durable, very fucking tough, strong, just strong-willed, dude. Like like her fight against Maycee Barber, it just showed how much heart this chick has. She can take a beating, and she didn't go out. She didn't go to sleep. She was still trying to defend herself, even though she was out of the fight. She came in on short notice, maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks. I think if she would have had a full training camp, she might have been the more durable and better fighter in that, or she probably would have at least got the decision with Maycee Barber. This chick has that farmer strength, literally farmer strength. She grew up on a farm and shit. She has 5 KO/TKO wins, 1 sub and 1 decision loss, and 1 KO loss. So she's pretty well rounded with the losses. She's 1-1 in the UFC. She lost her debut, like I said, to Maycee Barber by TKO in the second. And she won her last fight to Polyana Viana by split decision, which was a pretty good performance. She has good cardio as well. So Hannah Cyphers, I feel like she might be the real deal. I feel like she's a little shy, seems timid. She's not used to the cameras and shit. But I feel like once she warms up a bit, and she's just an introvert. But I feel like if she warms up a little bit with the cameras and gets used to all the publicity and the people in her face constantly, and maybe just block some of that out while she's doing the training camps and getting ready for her fights, I feel like she's going to actually be a pretty decent fighter in the UFC for that division. She's fighting Jodi Iskelebel, 6-5 record, 1 KO, 5 decisions, 1 sub loss, 4 decision losses. She's pretty tough. I don't feel like she's UFC caliber. She's kind of old. She's been in the UFC for a little while now. She's 0-3 in the UFC. Still hasn't got a win. And there's not really much else to say about her. She just lost a unanimous decision to Angela Hill. Angela Hill just had the crisper striking, better footwork, better movement overall. She was just way faster than Jodi Iskelebel in that fight. And I feel like it's going to be another one of these fights where Hannah Cyphers is probably just going to get the better of Jodi and get a unanimous decision. She might even get a TKO win in the 3rd round. Hannah Cyphers is tough and she hits fucking hard. So I'm rolling with Hannah Cyphers to get the dub on this one. Hopefully she wins. I want to see her win. I kind of want to see Jodi Iskelebel kind of leave the UFC and just move on to other things because I don't like to watch her fight, honestly. I'm not trying to be rude. I guess I'm a little biased when I watch her because she's just boring. But yeah, we're going into the prelims now. Manny Bermudez, the Bermudez Triangle versus Casey Kenney. They call him the Bermudez Triangle because he gets so many fucking triangle chokes. This motherfucker's legit, dude. He's legit. 20-fight win streak, 1 KO victory, 14-0 record as a pro, 3-0 in the UFC. You can go on about this guy, man. He's legit. All his victories in the UFC are all subs. 11 subs. He's landed 1 of 3 takedowns. No, sorry, I correct myself. One of 6 takedowns in the UFC, and that's not too good. So if he can't get Casey Kenney to the ground or some kind, or maybe pull Casey Kenney into guard or something like that, it might be a rough night for him because Manny Bermudez's striking is average. Casey Kenney's striking is kind of average too, but I feel like he might have a little bit of better striking than Manny. But Manny's got the height and the reach advantage. So yeah, he just came off of a choke against Benito Lopez in his last fight. He did miss weight. He said that's never going to happen again. He said that he had some changes in his diet and with his nutrition coach, and they wanted to change some things around in that last fight, which didn't work out for him. So he said, yeah, he's going to change some things this time or maybe go back to his old way of cutting weight, and he said he won't be missing weight again. So we'll see at weigh-ins if he misses weight. But yeah, he did beat Benito Lopez pretty bad. Casey Kenney, 12-1 record, 1-1 contender series, 1-0 in the UFC. Came in on short notice on his last fight in the UFC. On his debut, 4 subs, 6 decisions, and 2 KO wins. He's well-rounded. 1 loss by decision. So, I mean, he hasn't been KO'd. He hasn't been submitted. This might be his first submission loss. Casey Kenney's another grinder, though. This guy, he can go, man. I picked against him in his last fight. I wish I would have picked him because he was a super underdog. Low volume striker though, but he's accurate. He has 2 of 3 takedowns in the UFC so far, off of 1 fight. So yeah, he's pretty good. Clinch works good. His kicks are good. He's tough. Striker versus grappler matchup. This is going to be an interesting fight because my first instinct is to pick Manny Bermudez, but something keeps hinting to me that Kenney might pull an upset and give Manny his first official loss. But I'm going to roll Manny Bermudez on this one. I feel like he might even get a submission victory. Kenney might take him down and do something stupid, and Bermudez just has more fight experience, a better fight IQ, and he's going to get the submission probably in the 2nd or 3rd round. That's my prediction for that one. Next fight, Christoph Anjos versus Drakkar, close. As you can see, I got some notes over here that I'm going off of. Christoph is 17-7 record, 7 KOs, 3 subs, lost 4 times by sub. That don't look too good. Once by KO. He's 3-3 in the UFC, so he's 50-50. You don't really know if he's going to win. You don't know if he's going to lose. You don't know if he's even going to show up. But his losses are to high-caliber submission specialist. He won against Damir Hadzovic in his last fight, which was a fucking great performance because I slept on Christoph. I did my research. I watched videos. I wasn't impressed by this guy, and he surprised me. Like, this guy really surprised me. Yeah, I don't really even know what to say. I thought Damir was going to just maul him, dude. I thought he was going to keep taking him down, keep him on the ground, and just maul the guy. I thought he was going to get the win in the 2nd or 3rd round by TKO stoppage. And Christoph just made the dude look like nothing. He made him look like shit. I don't know if Damir was hurt, was injured, was sick, but he didn't show up to fight that night, and he lost me money. Hats off to Christoph. Drakkar close, 10-1 record. Only lost to David Tamir. Crisp striking, man. This guy he's well-rounded. His defense is great. Counter striker. His takedown defense is pretty well too. His footwork and head movement are all A1. All A1. He's on a 2-fight win streak, and his leg kicks are nasty, dude. His leg kicks are real precise and just overall good. I'm rolling with Drakkar to get the dub. Probably a decision victory. Shit, it'd be interesting to see if he got a submission victory because Christoph tends to lose by subs a lot. But yeah, I'm rolling with Drakkar on that one. Next fight, Rafael Assunção versus Corey Sanhagen, ranked 3 versus ranked 9. Rafael's 27-6 record, ranked number 3, like I said. Height and reach disadvantage in this matchup by far, by like 4 or 5 inches. He's a BJJ fighting style, very technical and very technical, and his overall submission game is world class. So I mean, his last fight versus Marlon Moraes didn't go his way. He lost by guillotine choke by his own fighting style. But I mean, Marlon Moraes is no fucking joke. We all know that. But he's a decision fighter. He was on a 4-fight win streak before the Moraes fight. 2 subs, 1 KO loss to Eric Koch, if you can believe that. Eric Koch knocked his ass out cold. And yeah, a lot of people are saying Rafael don't have it anymore, but he's ranked 3 for a reason, dude. Like I said, he was on a 4-fight win streak. His overall striking is not the greatest, but it's UFC caliber for sure. His submission game is UFC caliber for sure, and he can basically hang with the best, man. I think the Eric Koch fight was a fluke when he got KO'd by him. I feel like if they fought again, he probably would beat him. And Rafael is he's a tough fighter, man. But he's going against somebody, Corey Sanhagen, very young, his fight IQ is ridiculous. Corey Sanhagen's fight IQ is very, very good. 10-1 record. He beat John Lineker in his last performance with a dominant win. John Lineker tagged him a few times towards the end of the fight, which kind of looked like he rocked him a little bit. But Corey Sanhagen, man, his footwork is great. His head movement is great. And his overall skill set is very, very unique. Might be a little chinny, though. We don't know. But Rafael's not going to be the one to knock this guy out. Rafael's not a power puncher like that. Corey Sanhagen he's going to keep that range, that distance, and he's going to do what he wants with Rafael, plain and simple. He has all different ways of winning. He's won by arm bars. He's won by body shots. He's won by ground and pound. He's won by knees, punches, elbows, kicks. I mean, we can go on about this dude. He beat Alcantara, Mario Batista before the last win against John Lineker. This dude is legit, man. I'm a fan of Corey Sanhagen. I'm a fan of Rafael Sansao, but I want to see the young buck come up and get this dub and really shoot his way up the division so he can get a title shot. I wouldn't mind seeing him get a title shot soon, man. So I'm rolling with Corey Sanhagen to get a TKO or maybe even a submission victory. I feel like he could stop Rafael Sansao and maybe even put him away within the first or second round. But Asansao's durable. He's definitely durable. He goes to decision a lot. Next fight, Devante Smith versus Clay Collard is not fighting anymore. So I didn't do any research on the other dude. I don't know anything about the other guy. So I'm basically just going to pick Devante Smith in this one. I had research on Clay Collard, how he was released from the UFC and he came back and shit. And he was going to get beat by Devante Smith anyway. So it's kind of good that he pulled out. Devante Smith, 10-1 record, 6-fight win streak, only lost to John Gunther, if you can believe that. If you don't know who John Gunther is, then you need to go check out that YouTube video of John Gunther beating Devante Smith. It was a fluke. If Devante fought him again, he would definitely beat him. Probably KO John Gunther. Gunther is one of those people that shouldn't. He's kind of like a Roxanne Modafferi. Shouldn't really even be a fighter. Probably should be working at a lumber mill or some shit somewhere. I'm not trying to disrespect John Gunther because, I mean, he went into the ring and fought these guys and shit, and I got to give him props where props are due. But he wasn't UFC caliber. He shouldn't have even been in the UFC. I don't know why they signed that guy. But he was a grinder. He just didn't have great experience, very flat-footed. And Devante Smith, I can't believe that guy lost to him because Devante Smith is explosive. It was earlier in his career, though. He was still learning. He's a powerful puncher. Uses his reach very good in his distance. His footwork is great. And yeah, I'm rolling with Devante Smith in this one. I don't even know who the other guy he's fighting. I have to look that shit up because Kama Worthy. So yeah, I might have to do a little bit of research and see what I feel like on that one. But I mean, it's coming on a week's notice. Yeah, Kama probably does training and shit year-round. Most of these fighters train year-round, but it's a different kind of training than actually being ready, like fight ready. Fight camp training is different than just training. So his cardio is probably not going to be the greatest, and I mean, anybody can get knocked out, but I'm rolling with Devante Smith to get the dub on that one either way. We're going into the main card. Derek Brunson versus Ian Heinisch, ranked 8 versus ranked 10. I've been a fan of Derek Brunson for a minute now, but Ian Heinisch is on the rise, and I'm a fan of this guy as well. Derek Brunson, 19-7 record, 11 KOs, 3 subs, low volume, hits very hard, knockout power for days. Not the best cardio, though. Derek Brunson was a sprinter, I'm pretty sure, in college. And sprinters, they're sprinters for reasons, man. They're not marathon runners. And that translates to this a little bit when he comes into the UFC. He's got that sprinting, explosive, just type of fighting style about him where he gasses out within 5 to 8 minutes. And if he can't knock you out within the first round and you can just impose your will on him and grind him out and just lean on him and shit, even though Derek Brunson is a wrestler as well, has wrestling background, Ian Heinisch is a grinder. Like, he's durable, man. This guy can keep coming at you. Ian Heinisch can keep coming at you, man. He's 13-1 record, 4 KOs, 2 subs. He's on a 5-fight winning streak. His last performance against Antonio Carlos Jr. was outstanding. Like, it was great. It was everything that I expected that he would do to Carlos Jr. Because Ian Heinisch is a dude who has, like, heart. He has willpower. You can break Derek Brunson. I don't feel like you can break Ian Heinisch as easily. So I'm gonna roll with Ian Heinisch to get the dub. Probably a decision victory. He's gonna wear Derek Brunson's ass out. If Brunson can't chip that chin early within the first round, Brunson's gonna have a long night. He's gonna have a long night, and I'm a fan of Brunson too. But it's just, and honestly, Derek Brunson's only lost to high caliber fighters though. If you wanna actually go into the details, he's lost by KO 4 times in the UFC, all by like people: Yoel Romero, Robert Whittaker, Israel Adesanya, Jacare. And those aren't bad losses. Those are all champion fighters, dude. Like, those aren't bad losses at all. So Derek Brunson could definitely knock out Ian Heinisch. Derek Brunson beats people that are right below that level of being a champion, basically. Those mid-level fighters. Derek Brunson's one of those, he's kind of a gatekeeper a little bit. He beats people that are like like mid-rangers. But I'm rolling with Ian Heinisch to get the win. I actually hope Ian Heinisch wins. Next fight. Gabriel Mowgli Benitez versus Sadiq Super Yusuf. Her Super Sadiq Yusuf. That's how you say it. Yeah. Gabriel Benitez, 21-7 record, 7 KOs, 10 submission victories, 1 KO loss, 2 sub losses. Really nasty leg kicks. This guy has some brutal leg kicks, honestly. Excuse me again. Quick performance against Bandone. I picked Bandone to beat him, and he didn't show up. He got slammed. It was kind of a fluky kind of shit, though. This guy, Gabriel Benitez, he's durable. He's pretty strong. But he slammed Bandone pretty bad, man. He slammed him like nothing, too, and just knocked his ass out cold with that slam. But he did lose to Andre Fili. Andre Fili's on the rise, man. He's a whole different type of fighter now. I'm not going to get into Andre Fili until he fights the next time. But, yeah, Andre Fili knocked Gabriel Benitez's ass out. That's the only guy to ever KO him. But this dude has a pretty tricky submission game. He's got submissions from standing. He's got submissions from the bottom. So Sadiq's going to have to really be careful from this guy's submission game. But I feel like Sadiq actually has a high fight IQ, I feel like. And he's explosive and he's just strong. He's just really strong. You can tell he's strong. He's got crisp striking. Packs a punch, 5 KOs. Lost one time by KO in Titan FC versus Luis Gomez, which was kind of this was another kind of fluky loss too. I don't want to keep saying shit's a fluke, but if you go back and watch the highlight video of Sadiq getting knocked out, he was winning that fight, and he went for like a knee, and as soon as he went for that knee, the dude went for like a judo throw, but Sadiq didn't get thrown. He basically got thrown on his face, didn't catch himself and got knocked out. So this kind of shit happens. Sadiq gets taken down pretty easy, though. His defense is not the greatest. He leaves his chin out there a little bit. He pressures people and just keeps pacing. He keeps the pace up and keeps walking forward, but he gets hit a lot, man. He definitely gets hit a lot. He's on a 4-fight win streak, 2 TKOs and 2 decisions. He uses his range all right, though. He pressures people and uses his range somewhat decent. But his boxing versus Moraes, man, that was actually a really good fight. It was real precise, dude. Most of his shots were landing. He wasn't overexerting himself when he was throwing punches. And yeah, this dude's good. This dude's really good. So I'm gonna have to roll with. My first instinct was to pick Gabriel Benitez, but I'm gonna roll with Sadiq on this fight. I feel like he can get the job done, maybe even get a TKO or KO victory in the 2nd or 3rd round. Next fight. Man, these are really good fights on this card. I'm really looking forward to this next one, though. Yoel Romero versus Paulo Costa. This is probably my most anticipated fight because I'm a fan of Paulo Costa, but I'm also a fan of Yoel Romero. And these dudes are both, like, freakish athletes and specimens. Yoel Romero, 13-3 record. Paulo Costa, 12-0 record. Man, oh man. Yoel's ranked number 2 for a reason. 11 KO/TKO wins. Won 3 of his last fights. Lost 2 of them by decision to the same person, which I felt like it could have went either way against the second fight with Robert Whitaker. It really could have went either way. He rocked him a few times. But I mean, he didn't get the victory. Very explosive Olympic wrestling. This guy, man, I wouldn't want to be in the ring with him. This guy's a fucking tank. He's built like a fucking tank. His cardio has gotten a little bit better after going these 5 rounds with Whitaker. I feel like his cardio is gonna be better than people think it is, because Yoel Romero is known to gas out at the end of the 2nd round. Tends to catch his 2nd win at the 3rd when he goes those 5-round fights. At the end of the 3rd. But yeah, this is a 3-round fight. So yeah, Yoel, I feel like his cardio will hold up pretty well. Only way that it doesn't hold up well is if Paulo Costa hits him in the body with those powerful just uppercuts and hooks to the body that he does, those liver shots. He did that shit to Uriah Hall, and it was just brutal, man. He does this to everybody. He walks you down, pressures you, and keeps throwing those body shots. But the thing about people that... And Paulo Costa is one of the only people in the UFC that I know that really throw, like, body shots. And I'm not talking about leg kicks. I'm talking about punches to the body. This is a boxing technique. A lot of people in the UFC don't use this technique that well. And when they do, it's more of a jab, step back to the body. Like a jab in, and they step back. But Paulo puts everything into his punches to the body. He's kind of got a boxing style, honestly. But I feel like people in the UFC don't like to do that because you're vulnerable when you go into the body. You can get kneed, you can get head kicked, you can get elbowed, spinning back fist. There's so many options of you getting knocked out by so many different things. And in boxing, you can do that without worrying about getting hit by a knee or having Yoel Romero doing a flying knee while Paulo Costa is trying to get a body shot. This is going to be a fucking crazy fight, I feel like. Paulo talks a big game. He talks a lot of shit. Yoel Romero, soldier of God. He don't talk too much. And when he does, he's very humble. So, I mean, I'm rolling with Paulo Costa to get the win on this one. I feel like he can take it to the body on Yoel and wear him out and get the decision victory in the third. A lot of people think that it's not going to decision. A lot of people think someone's going to get knocked out. I feel like it could go to decision because both of these fighters are very durable. But we don't know if Paulo Costa can take a punch from Yoel Romero, man. He hasn't fought anybody with that type of power yet, that type of steam. It's going to be a very interesting fight, and I'm looking forward to it. So, yeah, hats off to whoever wins that one because those dudes are freakish specimens. Next fight, Anthony Showtime Pettis, ranked 9 versus Nate Diaz. Oh, man. Is the Stockton slap coming? I think it is. Showtime Pettis, man, what can you say? His last performance against fucking, what was it, Wonderbread? Nah, I'm just kidding. I like Wonderboy Thompson. I used to not like him as much, but Wonderboy, he's a humble dude. He's cool as fuck. And his fighting style is pretty dope too. I like that karate fighting style. And Anthony Pettis has a karate fighting style. So that Superman punch or Superman hook or whatever it was off the cage that he did to Wonderboy, he was losing the fight. Wonderboy probably would have beat him by decision if it would have kept going. But Anthony Pettis always seems to come out with some crazy shit. Even when he fought, Tony Ferguson. He gave Tony Ferguson a run for his money, honestly. He gave Tony Ferguson a run for his money. And Nate Diaz is one of those. Nate Diaz is a gritty fucking fighter, though. You're going to have to put Nate Diaz to sleep in order to stop him. You're going to have to either submit him or KO him. Because he's just one of those dudes that's what you're going to have to do to him. Nate Diaz has been gone for 3 years. 20-11 record. A lot of fight experience. Anthony Pettis has a 22-8 record. Nate Diaz's last performance against Conor McGregor wasn't a bad performance. I just didn't like how he was saying that when he was getting hit by Conor a few of the times that he was trying to drag Conor down. When he basically got hit by Conor and got knocked down a few times, he was trying to lure him down. So he basically said that the punches didn't phase him when they obviously, if you watch the video, they did phase him a little bit. I like Nate Diaz a lot. I'm a huge fan of Diaz, especially being from California. I got to roll with Nate Diaz on this one. I can't go against him. The only thing that I'm worried about is Nate Diaz seems a little bit, he's always been like this though. He seems a little punch drunk, and he seems to have a lot of just animosity towards everyone in the whole fight game. You can't be like that, my G. Nate Diaz is an OG in the game too. You can't really be like that though. I understand why he's got so much animosity towards people, because people are shining over him when they really shouldn't be shining over him. Nate Diaz has been in the fight game for a minute. He's fought all the best, and most of the losses are decision losses that he's had, and they shouldn't have even been losses. He lost to Clay Guida by decision. Come on, man. Nate Diaz shouldn't have lost that. Some of these judges, man, need to fucking open their fucking eyes, because Nate Diaz, he's the real thing, man. He's the real thing. He's got ground game, submission game. Both of these guys are the real thing. Anthony Pettis has a little bit more techniques with his striking than Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz is a little bit more one-dimensional with his striking. Anthony Pettis does a lot of flashy shit, and Nate Diaz sticks to the basics. But I'm rolling with Nate Diaz, man. I'm rolling with Nate Diaz to get the dub. Probably a decision victory on this one, because both of these dudes, they don't back down. But yeah, Nate Diaz, I watched the video of him saying that they kind of ostracized him, and I agree with that, man. They did. They didn't promote this dude. They didn't promote this dude the way that they've promoted Conor, the way that they've promoted some of these other fighters. And it's just politics in sports, man. I don't really want to get into that. too much, but I mean, I understand what he's saying, and I feel him. I definitely see why he would be so mad, and why and people are just kind of hating on Diaz and basically saying like, well, he's not taking fights, he's not doing this. I mean, I wouldn't take no fight either if this person's getting paid $3 million over here and I'm only getting chump change. Like, I wouldn't take no fight either. And the people that, I'm not trying to knock Conor, but the people that Conor fought were not the same caliber of fighters that Nate Diaz has fought. Sorry. And most of the people that Conor beat were on short notice. If you go back and look, a lot of the fighters that he beat were on 2 weeks notice, a week and a half notice. The debut fight that Conor blew up off of, it was on a week. The dude was on a week and a half's notice. When he fought, what was that other dude's name? I can't even remember his name. But yeah, most of the fights that Conor had and how he blew up were just on short notice, man. He basically got silver spoon. He got fed. He got fed all this shit, man. He got fed all this shit, and people buying the fact that Conor's the greatest in the world. You guys gotta open your eyes, man. You gotta open your eyes, because he's not. And I'm a fan of Conor McGregor, but I'm just being real. But I'm going off topic. I'm going to the next fight. Like I said before, I'm going with Nate Diaz. I hope the dude gets the win. He deserves it. He deserves a lot more. The dude's OG. Next fight, Daniel Cormier versus Stipe Miocic, the champ versus ranked number 11. 22-1 record, 1 no contest, 18-3 record. Man, oh man, this is going to DC. DC is going to get the win again. Stipe Miocic got knocked out by Stefan Struve a while ago when he first when he first started in the UFC. He got knocked out by Stefan Struve, and Stefan Struve's not a knockout artist. So if you're getting knocked out by him, I can't trust your chin. Sorry, just can't. And I like Stipe Miocic as well. Most of these fighters that I'm picking against, I like them. Like if I met him in person, I wouldn't mind buying him a beer or something. But Stipe Miocic just, Daniel Cormier is a bowling ball, man. He's gonna run straight through Stipe. He's probably gonna knock him out again. A lot of people are on Stipe's side saying he's going to get the win on this one. I don't feel like that's going to happen. You can have all the drive in the world. You can have all the techniques in the world. You can be the greatest fighter. You can think that you're the greatest fighter in the world, but if you can't take a punch, then it's lights out for you. And Daniel Cormier, he's known to be able to take punches, man. He's only been knocked out one time, and it was by John Jones, by that head kick when he dipped in. And Jones told him that you keep dipping to that side, I'm going to hit you with this. And that's what he did. Daniel Cormier, I feel like he's fixed a lot in his fighting style. I feel like, and he's an Olympic wrestler, dude. Like DC is, oh man, both of these guys are wrestlers, but DC, his grappling skills are ridiculous. His submission game is ridiculous. I feel like DC can beat Stipe in whatever category he wants to go to. If he wants to go to submissions, DC is gonna win. If he wants to start wrestling, DC is gonna win. If he wants to do the grappling, all this shit, if he wants to strike, DC is gonna win. And yeah, that's what I think. So I'm rolling with DC to get the dub. I'm not really sure how he's going to get the win, but I feel like he's going to get the unanimous decision. And I feel like Stipe is real emotional for this fight. I feel like he's got a lot of built-up aggression and emotions, and like I said, a little animosity towards Daniel Cormier because he wasn't getting the title shot right away. Which I feel like DC should have given the title shot right away. Shouldn't even have talked about the Brock Lesnar fight or John Jones. He should have just gave Stipe his just dues, because he did have the most title defenses in the heavyweight division, which is not easy to do, man. You're fighting people that punch hard. That's why he has the most. Was it 3 title defenses, dude? Whoever gets the strap on the heavyweights, it's hard to keep that strap because they hit so fucking hard. You make one mistake and you're done. It's not like the smaller divisions, even though I like all the divisions. But yeah, I'm rolling with Daniel Cormier. I'm just rambling on. I'm having a good day. Hopefully everybody has a great weekend. Hopefully everybody enjoys the fights. And yeah, subscribe to my channel, Ali's Fight Predictions. I called it Ali's Fight Predictions because that's my middle name. But anyways, yeah, enjoy the fights. Talk to you guys later.